What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Trinity Wolf, and well, happy New Year. We are now coming into 2024. A lot of big things that are going to be happening to this channel, but I think I'm probably going to have a separate video on that for the whole new year, because there's a lot to talk about, a lot of things to update you guys on since I haven't been uploading in like 2 weeks. Just been thinking about things for the channel and where we can go from here on out. But other than that, today's video, I am gonna take a little break from doing like Yu-Gi-Oh! Day episodes, because I'm kind of seeing like the views for them are not really as, you know, where I want them to be just yet. So we're gonna still record my locals, but we're gonna take moments to where it's like, okay, this is why you need to be playing a certain card, or certain combos that I've done, or certain ways I beat the certain decks, and we'll just focus on those matches instead of just the whole day. But unless you guys want to continue to see those Yu-Gi-Oh! Day episodes, they're still gonna come every now and then. If I have like a crazy Yu-Gi-Oh! Day where I go undefeated, we'll do the whole thing. But other than that, we're just gonna take locals to where it's like I just said, we're gonna just find certain moments to where it's like, hey, look, this is why you need to do this. This is why you should play this card, and this is why I do this and do that. But other than that, today we are going to be talking about Book of Eclipse and why this card needs to be main decked at 3 immediately. But before we get into that, you guys, destroy that subscribe button. My goal for this year alone, get to 5K. We're gonna get to 5,000 subscribers. I feel it. I can feel it on my bones that we're gonna get here to 5,000 subs. Of course, with the more consistency, video is gonna be coming out. I'm pretty sure we can get there regardless, because I'm, you know, still growing in a small sense, but because of the lack of videos and content, it slowed down quite a bit. But for those of you who have been supporting me, I really, really appreciate all your guys' help and support. And of course, if you check out the links in below, you can help support me in those ways and potentially get shouted out in a following video. And also destroy the notification bell, because I will be going live. I think I'm just gonna update everybody on what's going on with the channel during a live stream playing Master Duel. I think that's just easier for me to open and talk when it's just live and playing Master Duel at the same time, instead of just making a whole video about it. So hit that notification bell so you know when that video or live streams are up, so you know when I upload and when I go live. And well, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started with this. All right, so first off, we are already like going into like our combo, but that's why I'm just gonna be doing certain particular moments in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Day episodes. This is like the #1 thing why Book of Eclipse was definitely a must-have in this deck. All right, so in this particular moment, we're going to be going for our Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer. As you can see, we use Denier to put the Malicious back in the deck, and then summon another copy of Malicious, and then we go for Polymerization. And of course, you know, he didn't have any response until he basically saw what I was gonna make, and then he was like, on the activation of Polymerization. I'm like, okay. But anyway, here comes Nibiru the Primal Being, and then we thought about it for a second. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna definitely chain our Book of Eclipse here, flipping over everything. And as you guys know, Nibiru can only get rid of face-up monsters, so allowing us to still be able to resolve Polymerization, fusing away our Malicious and our Denier, and out comes the DPE, and Nibiru gets summoned to his field, only getting rid of the Wonder Driver, but you know, we're still able to combo off. Now that we don't have a Nibiru the Primal Being to worry about, now we know a Phoenix can just go A-okay with this Wake Up Your Hero play. So of course we get rid of our Wingman and our Neos. The reason why I like doing that is because I just feel like they're safer being banished. I don't want to risk a potential opponent maybe shuffling them back in the decks in some way, or being able to bring it to their field, or just any kind of like weird effect. So I feel like they're just safer being in the banished area for that particular reason. But of course we trigger Phoenix Enforcer's effect to pop Wake Up, and you know, he's thinking I'm gonna get rid of his Nibiru. I'm like, no, you're gonna leave that on your field. I want you to keep that. Don't worry about that. It's going to be on my field sooner or later, but don't worry. You're going to keep that Nibiru on your side. So we'll trigger Phoenix 1. Oh, no, Wake Up 1, Phoenix 2. Out brings the Stratos, and then Stratos is going to search for our Destiny Hero Plasma. Of course, since my monsters are going to be face down throughout the rest of the turn, because Eclipse only flips over your opponent's stuff during the end phase, so my stuff's going to be face down and practically useless. So we're like, okay, well, Plasma's going to definitely have some work here, getting rid of our 2 face downs along with our Nibiru token, being able to special summon Destiny Hero Plasma to the side of the field, and then of course we're going to target the Nibiru, the Primal Being, to equip to Plasma, and then of course we still have Phoenix Enforcer bringing a Destiny Hero out during the next standby phase, which obviously it's going to be him, but I say that because you can bring back any of them, with of course 2 face downs, being one of them being Favorite Contact, and I cannot recall what the other face down was, but that was going to be it for my opponent because he just could not deal with the skill drain. But yes, Book of Eclipse in this particular moment was just absolutely stunning, just being able to just get rid of the dodging the Nibiru effect. Of course, we lost our Wonder Driver, which kind of sucks because I love summoning Phoenix under the Wonder Driver to reoccur a fusion spell, essentially. But as you can see, he literally just scooped because he could not deal with a Plasma. The reason why you saw Ash hit my graveyard is because he didn't affect to let him special summon one from the deck, and we just ashed it because I'm trying to get, keep his advantage as, I want to have more advantage than my opponent. So we go ahead and use an Ash Awesome. But I believe I may have had 2 in my hand, so that's maybe why I just shotgunned one of them immediately. But as you can see, here's the other reason why Book of Eclipse just comes in crazy handy. As you can see, we're just rushing through the combo here so I can get to the part where Book of Eclipse comes in handy. But yeah, after today, I feel like Book of Eclipse is definitely a main of 3. It did well for me throughout the entire day, but this particular duel against, Fire, the Rescue Ace was just absolutely insane. As you can see right here, sorry to cut y'all off, we fusion summon into DPE this time, but he actually lets it happen because he's probably thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll wait for him to use Phoenix's effect so that way I can get rid of it all at once, just in case. I can get rid of the whole board instead of him just doing, I don't know what his thought process on was it, because he was like, well, I tried to do it last time, and then he just was able to continue using his plays because he was able to pop, wake up, and do all that. So we trigger Phoenix Enforcer's effect here, and then my opponent was like, thinking. And then he already had it ready. Look, it was literally just on the top of his hand. As you can see, his whole hand is face down, and he just flips the top card over. See, he had the Nibiru ready, and then we just shotgun the chain of the Eclipse just immediately. Like, nah, we're ready for that ass. Nope. And then flipped everything over, getting rid of the Wonder Driver yet once again. So wake up, and Phoenix Enforcer get popped, triggering both their effects, obviously. But this time, instead of Stratos immediately, we go for Spirit of Neos, triggering his effect to actually grab us the Counter Trap. The only reason I didn't go for Stratos just yet is because we also put EN Shuffle back into the deck just so I could have more access into getting into the Counter Trap, because I absolutely love the Counter Trap for this deck. And I really, really, really wish y'all would play this card more often. With how crazy Spell and Traps are in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game today, we have to negate something, you guys. Like, there was too many times where I've used Shining Neos to wipe their board, and then they triple talents and take him, and then I get punished by my own boss monster because I want to put him in attack, because he's going to be way better off in attack position than defense, because he's got almost 6k attack and only 25 defense, and he'd be able to be killed like way too easily. But of course, we EN Shuffle into the Stratos, grabbing our Plasma because it did so well at game 1. This was actually game 3 because my opponent went first game 2, obviously, and he literally just flipped over anti-spell on me, and I'm like, looked at my hand. It was like 4 spells with Vion, and I'm like, yeah, we'll go next game, because he obviously has the negate, because the Rescue Ace is ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, let me set 4 spells and traps in my back row for free, like no cost. Just activate, set 4. Ridiculous. But of course, we go for a Plasma, taking the Nibiru yet once again with 2 cards face down, being one of them being the Counter Trap, obviously, and Favorite Contact. The only thing that was weird about the favorite with the protection, so protection and Favorite Contact was face down. The only weird thing about the protection of the elements here was the fact that I had no E heroes on the field, so I had to manipulate my board in a particular way to where I was like, okay, if I can do things in a particular order where I have to make him burn resources on this Plasma first, then use this DPE effect to get rid of another card, and then Shining Neos to wipe the board, and then potentially use the protection of the elements to potentially stop a follow-up play, which pretty much that pretty much happened in the way I exactly called it, but we never ended up being able to use the protection of the elements just because we never got to that point, because the Shining Neos was able just to end the game right there. But what he's planning to do here is trigger an effect to flip my plasma over and then tribute it with, what is it, alert or rescue? I can't remember which quick play it was, but it was going to allow him to tribute the monster and get one from the deck. But I didn't want to waste plasma on popping the one that was going to let him tribute, because it just, I think it does target to tribute. I honestly can't remember. But if it did target to tribute, I didn't want to waste Phoenix on that anyway, just because he's either way, he was gonna let plasma get flipped. It was gonna resolve. But during this chain, this is when we go to our favorite contact here, which was pretty much just gonna allow us to wipe the board with Shiny Neos once the new monster hits the field. But as you can see, he's thinking about a chain here. I can't remember if he chains anything else, which I think does happen. But that's why I wish I had an E here on the field, because if I would have negated the card that he was going to activate here, I can't remember if it was, yeah. If I would have just had the protection ready for that, I think the game would have just been over, because then he wouldn't have been able to tribute, he wouldn't have been able to flip, and the game would have just been over right there. But I still pretty much end this anyway. But yeah, Book of Eclipse, you guys, is crazy. So I really, really heavily consider playing Book of Eclipse in the main deck, just because Nibiru is pretty much just back in people's mains as well. The hand traps for the format seem to be Ash, Droll, and Nibiru. Of course, Droll being the most annoying one for us in particular to deal with. It's just going to happen. So that's why I also consider playing Mass Change at 3. So if you can somehow start off with like having a Mass Change and starting off with a Fission Hero Ferris is very, very strong. So that way you just don't get hit with Droll. But also just dealing with Nibiru as well is particularly difficult when this format happens to where people are playing a lot of hand traps in the main that hurt this deck. It makes it a little difficult to compete, considering we don't have a negate yet, which I really feel like Konami will eventually give us one. They're just probably trying to find the most balanced way to do it, but I honestly feel like we'd be fine if we had one. I mean, come on. There's decks that can do just crazy crap. But other than that, guys, yeah, Book of Eclipse at 3. If you guys like this video, destroy that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button for me, and I will see you guys in the next one.